Hello and welcome back to my channel, everyone. How are you today on this Tuesday for more tarot twists? So what have we got for you tonight? Lots and lots of bits and pieces where we can look at the tarot and say, how does that all combine? Before I start, I'm just going to remind you that you can actually join me as a guest if you've got something to share or some questions so you'd like some help with combining the cards. So here's the link. I'll be back in a minute. So, what have we got here? Well, I've just shared the link in case you do want to come on as a guest and actually share some of your wisdom, or actually ask people who are also our viewers if they know something in which they can help, or me, of course. Right, so the Eight of Cups, a card of walking away. Why? Well, I've put some keywords on the screen for you tonight. Hopefully you can see. It's because we kind of go on an emotional quest. And I've combined the Eight of Cups there with that good old card, the Hermit. So the Hermit is a card that links to the past. So this is probably a combination that, if it came up, would tell you that they're going back in search of something from the past, or something that is of emotional value from the past. And the emotional side comes from the cups, because we're in the element of water and it's all about how we feel. The Hermit, of course, is quite grounded, and one of those cards that makes people kind of say, well, you know what, I don't really know what it means. Well, it's experience, it's wisdom, and it's usually about wanting solitude, being on one's own, in a place to be able to be free to do whatever the minor card is telling us. And that minor card is not changing tonight. That's going to be the Eight of Cups. It's the major card that will keep changing. So that emotional quest for the past, is it someone from the past? We wouldn't know. We need to look at the surrounding cards for that and the position in the spread. So what we would say with this pair is, quite simply, we'd need to know more, and be a good idea to actually look at the cards from the past in your spread to find out what was going on in the past that might have made the person that's having the reading want to actually explore emotions on a quest, but they need to do it on their own, that's for sure. Okay, right, bear with me. I want to actually show you this one. Maybe it's about letting go of the past, because the Eight of Cups can also signify letting go. And although our figure in the card is showing that they're on that journey already, they've already made a start, but they are leaving the arrangement of those cups not willy-nilly, is it? It's definitely neat, stacked, and we can see 5 cups on the bottom, representing that that is something that they have, like the 5 of Cups, probably had some emotional disappointment, or grieved emotionally, bereaved of something emotionally. And the 3, of course, signifies the joy of actually being in celebration, being happy. So it's a combination mixed of maybe sorrow, like the 5, and 3 is joy, and saying, right, I need to actually replace one more there, because we can see it's almost deliberate in this picture that that person has left a space for another cup. So wanting more, but letting go. And so if you've got a major card in front of it, you know what you're letting go of. And in this case, that major card is the past. Another one here is walking away from the past. Probably absolutely correct. Most people walk away from something that's not serving them, and they put it in the past. And maybe this is experience and wisdom from the Hermit that's suggesting the need to get away from the past, the need for solitude because of the Hermit. But of course, the Eight of Cups is a card here, it's on its own. Any questions, anybody? By the way, can everybody hear me? Can somebody just give me a thumbs up or say, yes, I can hear you? My microphone was playing up a little bit earlier on today. Right, okay. What else can I put on the screen? How about this one? So, moving on from the past. So, pretty much similar stuff. It's actually about doing what one needs to do emotionally for oneself. And of course, the Hermit is about experience. It's about being in a place where you can concentrate on yourself and go for introspection and reflect and see what it is that's important to you to be able to get what it is that's missing in your life, missing in an emotional context. The Minor card will always tell you where that person has been affected. So when we were doing swords, we knew that the swords were talking about communication, conversations, and the way in which the person who's having the reading is thinking. When it comes to emotions, it's about how they're feeling, how they're processing their feelings, whether they're relaxed, whether they're happy, whether they're sad, whether they're disappointed, whether there's dissatisfaction. All of these things are important for you as a reader to be able to say correctly. And what I mean by that, people often say, oh, I think they're thinking this. And you've got cups. It's not about thinking. You know, I know it's a mistake and people will actually say, oh, you know what I mean. It'd be nice if we could actually turn around and go, look, I think it really does mean emotion. And that person then has the ability to actually put the reading into a place where they've got a little map of the current background effects and they know how to navigate the journey ahead based upon our correct sort of interpretation of that reading. Okay, so let's get rid of the Hermit, and I'm going to bring on the good old Fool. Okay, so if we've got the Fool and the Eight of Cups combined, well, there's no court cards there, but again, we are talking about the emotions. And if we feed the energy of the Eight of Cups into the Fool is all about brand new beginnings. There's so many key words that it could actually be, but we're going to pick a nice easy one, which means new. So new, as in moving on. You're moving on somewhere new. It's as simple as that. And when the Fool comes up, I would always say to you, a great tip here is, you know that it's about revolutionary changes, you know it's probably connected to the planet Uranus, and you know that things will never be the same. But I think when we look at the fact it's something new, think of it like this. I know it may sound really obvious, but it's somebody brand new or something that is brand new. There is nothing that this is about someone from the past or going back to an old job. Am I going to get a new job at my old place? You know, that kind of thing. Probably not, because you said old place. You know, am I going to have a new relationship with my old boyfriend or my ex-husband or my old friend? No, this is telling you it's not happened. You have not had it happen yet. It's almost saying this is something that you've never seen or experienced before. Experience in this case because it's the cups. So a really good tip is if somebody's saying, can we look at the past? You're going to look at the Hermit. if you're going to look at something that's brand new and know that it's nothing to do with maybe who they're asking about because they've got some history. History would be with cards like the Hermit or the Six of Cups. That's all about something that's happened, whereas brand new, it can seem so obvious. And when you're lost in a lot of cards or you're feeling under pressure when you're reading, it's easy, isn't it, to actually go, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what this is. Who is this? What is this? I don't know what to say. Keep it simple. New, brand new. It's like if somebody said, my brother was talking about buying a new car. It's new for him. He's never had a car like that. And he's talking about a not brand new as in out of the factory and nobody's ever driven it before. It's new to him. He's not actually had, shall we say, a Volvo that's blue, on that number plate, automatic, all of that kind of thing. It's new. So, you know, it's like, oh, have you had a Volvo before? Well, the full card's saying no, they haven't. And they've had a car before. You see, you can get down into the nitty-gritty of something. So this is new, and they're moving on. So, oh, are they going to go back to their home, or are they going back to their ex? No, they're moving on to something new. They're not connecting with anything that they've already done. I know that may sound as if it's simple, but I know that when we've got a reading, it can actually be that you go, oh, I thought it meant this or whatever. And that's because we perhaps get lost in expecting too much from the reading. Just keep it nice and simple. Brand new, yeah. Oh, so, you know, am I going to get a new house? Absolutely. Will it be brand new? Don't know. But it'll be new to you. Simple, yeah? That's one like that. Okay, so they're moving on. And if we'd got the Fool, we could also say, well, maybe it's not that we're going to use that. This is a new thing. They're going to walk away. Oh, they've done it before. Well, if they have, it's going to be different this time, because the Fool is saying it's not going to be the same as before. That's why we say revolutionary changes, where things will never be like they were before. You might say, well, they always do that. Well, they're going to do it differently. See? So it's about looking at what is it that the cards are really, really trying to tell you. Okay? And so that is, they're going to walk away in a complete new way. Oh, they'll be back. Really? If they are, they'll be different. They'll be a brand new person, because something's changing, that's for sure. Okay. Why are they doing that? That person is letting go. Letting go of what? Emotions. And there you have it, the Eight of Cups. They're emotional treasures. As I suggested, the Three of Cups on the top are about the joys. Space for another joy. Underneath, Five of Cups represents being disappointed, being upset. You know, we often refer to that card as emotional difficulties, struggles with our emotions, but it's also a card of grieving, of being disappointed. So it's a combination. The Eight of Cups is the good, the bad, the ugly, the sad, all of that. There's a new journey. This person's going to let that go emotionally and not dwell on the joys and not dwell on the sorrows. That's what this combination would mean if we wanted to use the keywords letting go. Any questions, anyone? Do say hi. Thank you so much for watching. It's always nice to have you along. I don't think we did that one. Emotional quest. Why is that not coming on? There we go. So a new emotional quest. So brand new journey, searching for something, probably connected. When it's a quest, and the Eight of Cups is that, it's a bit of enlightenment. So revolutionary, finding oneself emotionally, what makes them happy. And the moon's up there, and we can see that we are when we look at astrology, it would be very much about the fact that you are in a place of the moon will tell you what makes you comfortable. And if it was an emotional quest and I was looking at the Eight of Cups, I would be thinking that this person really wants to relax into their emotional self, to actually be fulfilled in their spiritual self. There's something missing in their life, emotionally and spiritually, and they're not comfortable with just that 8. They know that there is something more for them. And the moon is always an aspect of what makes us comfortable. Our sun sign is our vitality. So the moon represents where we're comfortable. It also represents where we can have our fears and our hopes and our wishes. And so, yeah, you've got this beautiful combination that is telling you that things will not be the same. This person is off to do some soul searching. Okay, right, let's change the card. Questions, by the way, I'm getting questions as if people think that I'm giving readings. I'm not. I'm teaching you how to read the cards. So please look underneath. It is tarot tuition. It is not readings. Sorry, that's not what this channel is about when we've got tarot tuition up there. Okay, sorry about that. So if there's any confusion and you don't think I'm responding to you, I have responded as in a general statement that we are looking just at how to read a pair of cards when we've got our minor arcana there for the night, 8 of Cups, and switching about with my major cards, I beg your pardon, to be able to see how to read that minor card. All right, so let's just look at the next keyword that we've got there for the Magician. So I chose manifestation. So how could the Magician and the 8 of Cups? Well, the Magician's a card of communication. It's linked to Mercury, the planet Mercury. It's all about our communication, as I said. But Magician has the 4 elements on the table and the infinity sign, and he's holding a crystal wand. There's a lot more going on that card, but you can look at the tutorial of the Magician in the podcast, which I'll be popping on to remind you where to find them and what they look like. So you can watch all of the tutorials on each individual card, which we do on Thursday, and on Tuesdays, where we explore how to read the card we've just studied and combine it. It's all very well learning a card, but how to use it, and that's what Tuesdays is about. Okay, so the manifestation. That comes from combining the 4 elements. So the 4 elements of the sword, the cup, the wand, and the pentacle. And that is telling us that that's the thinking, the thought process, the mental agility, the communication, because the Magician is Mercury, so that's very big. So the communication of one's mind or to others. And the cups telling us emotionally what that person wants. And the action, they will do all of those things. They will think it, they will feel it, they will act on it, and they will make it happen, which is why I put manifestation. So it's like, oh, do you really think that I'm going to walk away? Yes, absolutely. It's already happening. It's already in motion because everything's on the table already sat. You've started this. This isn't something about you're going to. It's pretty much actually, it's in motion. What I'm saying is probably packed or planned or wrote a list or started applying. Whatever it is that's taking you on your emotional quest, you have already planned it, you are ready to go, and you will do it. And that is because of the Magician, not necessarily because we are talking about the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups is about what we want to do, doesn't mean we'll do it. But the Magician in this case says, yes, because you've got all 4 elements there. So it's slightly different. It's a very powerful, powerful card. So this person will manifest through emotional quest. Absolutely they will. And that's because they are wanting to let go. And they want to manifest something new. Why do we say that? Because we can see that there is room for another cup in the way the cups are arranged in the Eight of Cups in the Rider-Waite. It's making room for another emotional thing in their life. And so in order to make room for something, they've got to leave behind and let go so that they can manifest. It's a bit like turning around and saying, I've got to leave home because I've got to make my journey in the world of my education or my career. And I can't do that living with mum and dad, or I can't do that while I've got all these people that they don't want me to do it. Of course they don't. They don't want to lose you. And you probably don't want to lose them. If you look at that, it's a combination of disappointments, as we said, the 5 cups on the bottom, and the joys, which are the 3 on the top. So this is somebody that's actually saying, I've got mixed emotions about everything, but there's more. I want more. Want being the word. Will they do it? Magician says yes. Okay. So if we change that to keyword of walking away, sorry, my jaw is hurting, as is my back today. So one of those days, folks, sorry. Manifesting walking away. What do you mean? It means they will. They are going to walk. Because that Magician card is a card of manifestation. And it means they've thought about it. They've had feelings about it because of the cups. The Wands tell us actions there, fire, energy, going to make it happen. Pentacles telling us it's manifested. It's already, as I said, think of it that they've packed their bag. Hello, my darling. No worries. You can always watch it on the catch up. How are you doing, passionate Saji? Are you all right, my lovely? Good, good, good. No, it's absolutely fine. It's always wonderful whenever you can get in. Always lovely. You see, I really do enjoy having the company. Always lovely. I'm just grateful she watches any time and always comes in to say hello. I know people watch and don't say hello, and I understand that too. I know that you could be working, you've got things to do. It's always the wrong time of day somewhere in the world, isn't it? Okay, and that's why we put it on the podcast. By the way, let's actually bring in this one. Good, you're feeling better. Good, 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 wonderful. Okay. Just going to put on some keywords there, passionate Saji. So grab yourself a glass of water. It's the ones that, the keywords that you can look at on the screen for a moment, and gives me a chance to be able to grab some water. See you in a moment. Okay, so we have back on the screen for you the Hermit. You missed that one, passionate Saji. I'm going to take this off the screen. I've got scenes in the move from one place to another, so that's obviously when I was copying and pasting it earlier on. Okay, moving on to a card, the High Priestess. Okay. And the High Priestess is a card of, keyword that I would like to keep nice and simple, future. So it can be many things, of course it can. It's all about intuition, and we're not going to go too deeply into the multiple meanings of what the High Priestess is, because you can watch that on the podcast, which you can look at anytime you want to, okay, and go through what it means. But really the High Priestess, it's about gut feelings, it's about intuition, it's about what's going to happen, what's coming, secrets that we are going to find out. And so this person on the Eight of Cups has probably had that intuition that they must do this emotionally. You know, sometimes people say, I must do this, and they can't quite explain why. And they say it's a need, it's a feeling, I have to. I don't know why, I just need to do it. It's a need inside of me. And so an emotional quest is to go and find something. Usually, as I said, spiritually, and definitely spiritually when we've got the High Priestess. And that's probably something that they're looking inwardly. They've probably really, really looked at their inner selves and reflected on how they're feeling. And so they may need to do this, which is to let go. Let go of the future? No. We're letting go of the emotions to allow the future things that we do not know what they are, but we just know it. We cannot explain it. And that's really what this poem means. It's about getting a hunch, getting a feeling. Both the hunch can be described as intuition, it can be described as gut feeling, it can be emotionally, you know, it can be dreams, because, you know, the High Priestess is also attached to the moon, very much, as it works in conjunction with the moon. And therefore, when you get that card, you know, you would probably say, I would say that the moon affects us most every 20 years. So over 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100, if you're lucky enough. And it means that that's where some big emotional revamps in our life come in. And they're usually based on reasons. And the reasons are usually to do with our emotions. And our emotions saying, I've got to leave this behind. Passionate Sashi, you were talking about moving, you know. I'm somebody that's moved too many times. More than 20, I can tell you. I can't remember how many now in my time. But it's about letting go and allowing the future to come to you, being open, saying, I know that the universe has got a plan for me. Not, oh, hey, here I am, bring it on. But you've got to do your bit. And if you do your bit, it's actually putting yourself into the right environment. Sometimes we just need to bring in that new environment. You know, you need to be in the right location. I wanted to, in my first job, I wanted to be a private nanny. I was trained as a nursery nurse. I have a certificate, NNEB, and I didn't particularly want to work in educational nurseries. I didn't particularly want to work in what you call social nurseries, or that's what they were called back then. The reason being, I am, because of the nature of what I do, I am sensitive. And so when I am around people that are not well, or are going through, shall we say, socially, they are being supported because of being where they are, because of the system letting them down. I am neither use nor ornament to those people as children in social situations, because I'm an empath, you know. I feel everything that's happening to them as if it's happening to me, and I just couldn't hack it. So I needed to be around something that was more vibrant, more challenging, where I wasn't responsible in the educational realms, but I was able to actually do what the parents wanted, and that's what I wanted. But living where I did, in the Midlands, in Yorkshire, there wasn't too many sort of opportunities that I was impressed with. And that's why I needed to actually move away from my family and go to London, where this was the norm. So that's a really good example of going, I know, I just feel it. I've only had to look for the evidence of the adverts in the newspapers, the Lady magazine, those kind of things that actually advertise positions for staff, such as NNEB nannies. And that's what I wanted, but I wasn't going to find it living where I was. So I was prepared to let go, love my family, but I also wanted the joy of having that experience. That's a perfect example of, we haven't fallen out, but I would be disappointed if I let myself down because I am too emotionally sensitive and too cyclically aware of things that are not pleasant. And working in that environment, I might have been good for them, but it wouldn't have been good for me. And it's knowing yourself. So that's a really good example of the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is, I have to do what's right for me. You know, it may be good for others. Would have been great for others. They'd have loved it. I know that. But I would not have been happy. Same as our figure in the Eight of Cups is confidently going, I'll take my chances. And that means that, yeah, it's hard to let go of the ones I love. Of course you get homesick. Of course you miss. Of course you actually go, it's not the same, you know, gosh, they'll be doing this now and we should have done that. And I could hear how upset they were. And I'm sure they think that, you know, it must be scary for them, you know, that they don't know what's happening to me and I wouldn't tell them things that might make them worry. Those kind of things, we know that we can be causing some emotional disappointment for others too. And they might think, oh, you're all joyful. So letting go takes a lot of courage. But it is actually about saying, I'll do my bit. And when I'm walking away, I'll be able to see my future. I'm walking away to allow the future to come in. And I'm moving on. I'm moving on into my future. And very emotionally driven, okay? We've got an eclipse there in the Eight of Cups. You can see that in the sky. Why emotional? Eight of Cups is. The more cups you've got, the more emotion you've got, some say. It's up to you how you want to read it. But the High Priestess is also in conjunction with the moon. So what makes us comfortable? What makes us fearful? What are our hopes? What are our dreams? What are our wishes? That is what this pair is all about. Does anybody want a particular major arcana card that I can put on the screen for you? You're more than welcome to actually type it in and ask me. In the meantime, I'll quickly show you where to find the Tuesday podcast. So, all right, so that's Tuesday Tarot Twist, which is what we're doing right now, using combination cards. All right, so it's where I show you the card that I'm featuring on the left, as you can see in the playlist there in the thumbnails, and the question mark of what card are we going to put there. It's just the best way of actually saying how to combine cards. You'll find that, of course, on my YouTube channel, Tarot with Anne-Marie. Okay, so back to keeping up the Hermit in the past, don't I? Oh, great one. Okay, let's do that. I love it, I love it, I love it. Great card. So let's first of all make sure that we've got the Hierophant, Nova. So the Hierophant. Now, obviously, there are many, 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 many keywords and many, many meanings of what it is. But the whole point of what we are trying to actually do here is, rather than overload you, I know I do that on Thursdays, folks, sorry, I try and give you everything. Here, we're doing the opposite, trying to keep it as simple as it possibly could be. So the Hierophant, we are saying, is all about rules, all right? And let's say that our question was, sorry, I'll just bring up Emotional Quest for you on the, so that I've got it. All right, let's say that our question was somebody saying, okay, I want to know whether or not I'm going to be able to come out with qualification that allows me to, let's say, drive, teach, practice, those kind of qualifications. Am I going to be able to have that qualification? And it's like, you've got to go on an emotional quest and work out how to do it, because the powers that be are going to be the ones that make the rules up. So this would be about your emotional quest to find out how you're going to make that happen. So how would it be that we are looking at the Hierophant and the Eight of Cups? Eight of Cups is about, let's put that on. Eight of Cups is about moving on, okay? Moving on from the rules. Like I said, might be a case of turning around and saying, well, you want to get qualified as a doctor, a teacher, a lecturer, and let's say, a great example, and I'm not saying this is what this means, but I think this is a really good example to help you, is the rules and the red tape. Look at it as governments. And what do we have when we've got governments? We've got the council. Will they give me planning permission? Look at the Hierophant. You know, and you might go, what does it mean moving on? It means because of the rules, you might need to walk away from your original plan and go and figure out how to come back and adhere to the rules. You're not getting what you want. The rules are stopping you. That's why you're having to move on. I want to be a lecturer. Well, tough. They want this qualification. Well, I've got that qualification. The rules say no. So it would be, I hope that makes sense. Or let's look at this. I want to get a mortgage. The Hierophant is about contracts. I want to get a mortgage. Okay, so I want this mortgage. So what card do you look at? A Hierophant, because it's contracts. You would also be looking at justice card for the legal, or some of the court cards, you know, as in the serious ones like the King of Swords, the Queen of Swords, barristers, solicitors, that kind of thing. They're the kind of things. That's what this channel's about, trying to give you what may actually make you go, I never thought of that, or oh my gosh, it's so obvious. Why didn't I put it together? Been there, seen it, done it. Sometimes you can go so far down a rabbit hole, you miss. I'm guilty of doing it until you actually pedal backwards, as it were. It's a bit like snakes and ladders, going up and down, going into a rabbit hole and bringing yourself back up for air and going, need to look at the basics. What's the basics telling me? So if it was that you wanted to be able to have a mortgage, it's like, you know, you might be going to the mortgage company or the bank. That's who we're looking at, the people that make the rules up regarding those contracts. All right? Financial contracts, banks. Hierophant is banks. And it's also the taxman. And it's also the deans in the college. It's the headmasters. It's the council. It's, you know, those people that make up the rules. Even down to, you know, the church, a bishop, the priest, all those kind of things. School governors. It's because it's a very, if it said red tape or contracts or even communication, it is a card of communication, and it's also traditional. So I always think of this card as in first and foremost governments, councils, officials, colleges, deans, everybody that's able to do that, and or something like that. Or passport, will they give me a visa? The Hierophant's going to say yes or no. In this case, the Eight of Cups is saying that our person has gone to the people who make the rules, and they've got no choice but to walk away. They won't have me. Got to go somewhere else. their rules are not actually catering for me. You see? So something in the officialdom is actually saying that person's got to walk away. So that might be, I'm with this bank, and that bank's red. We'll call it the red bank. And now I've got to walk away, and I'm going to pick the colour green or blue in the Eight of Cups, because we're seeing that. I'm going to see if the Green Mountain Bank, as you can see in the Eight of Cups, let's make that up, will have me. And I'll be able to financially get the assistance I need for my career or my mortgage or whatever it is. Yeah? Or we could say, I'm going to the Blue Sky Bank. And I'm saying that because we've got a blue sky in the Eight of Cups, so we're not advertising anything or trying to give anybody advice. If we go there, they might help you, because the Hierophant has caused you to have to go, I ain't going to get the satisfaction I need here. I've got to move on. Those rules are telling me you've got to do something else. So you've got to walk away. Oh, but please, no, let go and go and find something else. Oh, but you might, I've had bank managers sort of say, oh, you're not worth the piece of paper you're written on, young lady, especially when I was a live-in nanny going back too many years, 44, 45 years ago. And them actually saying, you live in and you earn this? No, go away. I was like, okay. So you missed out when I actually did that, got that out of my system and went off and set up a company for 250 psychics, didn't you? You didn't get my business then because you told me to go away. So I walked off and found someone else. Yeah. So you see, I won't name them, years ago, but, made me feel like I'd got no chance. A Hierophant, another good example of this, and this is something that came up in a reading many, many years ago when I was actually a student. I was a student of tarot, and I was living in London, and I was teaching a lady who had come from Serbia and was trained as a doctor in Serbia. So we're going back some years now, I would say probably late 80s, early 90s, thinking about that time. That's when I was a driving instructor. So you see, I move on. I've moved through my career. Why? I do what makes me happy and walk away when it doesn't. Same with move-on. But for some people, that's really hard, especially if you're Taurian, because they like safety and security of something that goes with the status quo. So, I'm a Cancerian, and not a typical one, but I'm supposed to love home, but maybe my moon and my other planets in my chart are responsible. Perhaps also the fact that my Cancerian sun is in the 9th house, which is all about knowledge and expansion and further learning, and of course travel, long distance travel, which is probably why I'm like I am, more than any other reason. And it comes up several times in my chart, so it explains why I'm always kind of quite happy to walk away. But I know others aren't, because I have a Taurian mother who would not budge from the house she was married in, and still remains to this day. And it's hard for her. So it's everybody at different things, isn't it? We're not all the same. But the Serbian doctor had no such, let me put it this way, the UK did not accept her qualifications as a doctor from Serbia. And so this lady was learning to drive and living in, she'd lived in her own property, and she was living in council flats, which was fine. She was studying from scratch to be a doctor and supporting herself with 3 cleaning jobs, learning to drive and supporting her family in every which way. Admirable. That is where the rules cause you to go, be off, you've got to go and do something else. You've got to move on. So moving on isn't just about moving on, I'm not coming back. It's very much about something else. Hey, how are you doing? Not sure about the title, but thank you. Very strange name. Okay, so moving on. One of those things where, how do we move on? We could be moving on doing what we've got to do. The rules are stopping that lady from being a doctor, I'm sure. That within, she passed a driving test, she was incredibly brainy, she was incredibly warm, and you know what, her attitude was, do you know what, we have to retrain as doctors all the time from where we're at, because medicine is always evolving. I'm going to be with the best, I'm going to actually be learning something new, I'm going to be in a place where I'm with, worldwide, people come to London rather than Serbia, so I'm going to learn. So she was looking at us and you do indeed. You've got a very noticeable handle, absolutely. But thank you very much indeed. I just love the fact that you're saying hi. Thank you. We'll be rounding up shortly, folks, nearly done our hour. I don't always stay for an hour, it's just that sometimes things come up. But the Hierophant's one of those difficult cards. It's because we go, oh gosh, what's that? It looks like church, and let's face it, in tarot cards, perhaps everything that ruled their life came from the church, because they were the powers that be that said, we must do this, you can't do that. That's the way it is. Oh, how lovely. Thank you very much. I tell you something, one of my I am a little horse, as in I've been doing a lot of recording. I'm doing some shorts and I'll be out soon. I hope you like them. Just to actually advertise the fact that I am a reader too. Can't always be teaching, can I? But I'll tell you something. One of my clients fell asleep twice in the last 2 weeks. International. Remember, it's always the wrong time either for me or for the client when they're having a call, and so we try and compromise. I do the best I can, and if it's silly o'clock, I'm afraid the rate goes, and I decide whether or not I'm available, because obviously I can't always be in. I could be doing this. What I'm trying to say is, because it was the crack of dawn for me, and definitely way past her bedtime, but she was very keen to actually find out some news about one of her questions, as she's responsible for a lot of things, so it was important to actually get this in this week. She fell asleep to the reading. Luckily enough, she's clever enough to actually tape it so she didn't miss out. And I realised when I asked a question back that there was no response, and gathered what had happened. So yeah, I didn't go on and take advantage of charging that lady for something she didn't have. But what I'm saying is, and she went, your voice is very soothing, Anne-Marie. So that's really nice. Huh? That's been said many times. Thank you so much. I love your perspective. It really is a good perspective to actually do that. Welcome, welcome. Please do actually subscribe. The reason I say that is I don't need the subscriptions so much. But if you subscribe, you can then press the notification so that if we're on and you're around, you don't miss anything. Or if I load a video, you won't miss the video if it's something you're looking for that you actually feel is in your life. So yeah, it is. It's very nice of you to say that. That it has that nice feeling, and people do look at having a reading as being able to connect with their inner voice and their intuition. And thank you very much. Just so that you know when we're on, that's really nice. Thank you for that. That's so nice of you, because it does actually mean that it'll just trigger that, hey, we've got a video on here. Do you want to come in and say hi, or do you want to watch it later? Or is that one not for you, and you put it into watch next sort of thing? Yeah, that kind of thing. Sorry, I seem to have all of a sudden got something in my eye. So, the Hierophant, I actually could talk for hours on that, you know, because the other thing is, quite often in a reading, it will come up and people will say, am I going to get my visa? Am I going to get the visa for this? Sorry, folks, I cannot cope with having a film over my eyes. Sorry. Yeah, am I going to get my visa? Hierophant, they make the rules up. And you know what? If you got the Ace of Cups, it would actually be quite hard to say, if we weren't looking at where this was in the position of the spread. Because if you're looking for a visa and you want passport control to say yes or no, Eight of Cups says you are able to move on. So it would be a yes in that case. You're looking. Or is it that you want to stay? Depends how it's phrased, doesn't it? Can you see what I'm saying? So if it's like, can I get a visa to go to America? This would be a yes. But if it's like, can I have a visa to stay in the UK? Come on, passionate Saji, what would you say? No, you're moving on, aren't you? You see, that's what it's saying. So the way in which somebody phrases their question is very important, because we are being given, and people say, oh, there are only tarot cards. They are. You know, Carl Jung used tarot cards and died wanting to have spent far more time in the tarot than he got to do. His whole family said it was an absolute passion, because he felt that it answered so many questions in life on such basic human fundamentals that made life quite easy to divide into your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, or what's tangible and doable, and down to the individual then to either completely rebel against that or use it as a signpost to be able to have acceptance in their life and accountability for saying, well, you know what, if it's this country is not going to let me stay and I got to walk away, okay, forewarned is forearmed. So the Hierophant, you see why I like that? I could go on for hours about this card, I really could. The Taxman, you know, is it going to get me? Well, Eight of Cups, how are you asking your question? Will I have to pay tax? Eight of Cups, no, you're moving on. You'll be okay. The rules are allowing you to move on. You know, will the taxman come and get me? Well, who might chase you out? You see, it depends on how you actually phrase it as well. All right? People might say, oh gosh, this is a heavy subject. Life is about rules and regulations and red tape. So what a fab card. You know what, Passionate Saji? It tells your experience, because you know the difficult cards that when you actually know how to work them they will become your favorites, because they will tell you, hey, I can tell this person, I can actually say, you know, quite often people will say, am I going to get that job? Hierophant, people that make the rules, who are they? HR. Yeah? We'll be looking at more, all right? We are going through the 22 major arcana. I can't do them all. That's why I like a request, Jason, because, and particularly when I know that somebody is actually wanting some information to know a little bit more, shall we say. I think that's a hair in my eye, sorry. Wanting some information to know a little bit more, it actually helps me to be able to give you some great examples. Well, have a little think. Good thing to do is go, right, okay, let's look at it as in, if you wanted something in your life where you had to get the approval or the piece of paper that gave you the opportunity. Hi, Nicola, how are you doing? Hello, my lovely. Hi, thank you. Oh, you're all doing these wonderful things. I'm sorry, I missed a lot there. I got carried away. Sorry. But yeah, the more you can struggle with something, the more you actually will find that when, this is what I want you to tell me so that we can keep going over it. And you can ask questions, like I'm saying, who would have thought, gosh, HR, yeah, they make the rules. Sorry, you're moving on. Or will I get that job? So if somebody's saying, well, I get that job, and you see the Hierophant and the Eight of Cups, not looking good as that. I've got to go off and do something else. Or, it's like, will I get that job? You're walking away. Depends on the question. It's the people that make the rules that can affect your life. That's really nice of you, and thank you so much for that. But I am going to have to leave you soon. Right. All of a sudden, what if you phrase the question? Will you be able to stay in the UK? No, you're talking. Okay, so right. Okay. Let's have a look at that one. What if you phrase the question as, will I be able to stay in the UK, and the Hierophant comes up? No need to do reverse, all right? I don't do reverse. And the reason I don't do reverse is we're using the minor card. I work with pairs. Therefore, sorry folks, it's teach me to wash my hair so it's too soft to do anything with when I come on live. I'm going to have a sip of water. Okay, so forget about the reversed. Why? I'm not the person to ask, because although I've done this for years, there is absolutely no reason for me to do that, because the method that I teach uses that second card to tell you. So what I would say is use the second card. If you want to know about reverse, I'm not the person, simply because it means nothing to me. All right, simply because I don't study it. So I can't turn around and go, it means this. I could tell you what it means, but I don't want to, because I don't want to go there with that, with people doing that. And hello there. Okay, so can you see I can't really, Sylvie, I can't really answer your question like that. So if it's reversed and you're using the Eight of Cups, look at them both as the upright. Forget about reversed, because the reversal is to say it's either a positive or a negative. That is what that's about. Excuse me, cheers. That is why reversals. But the minor card, rather than getting a yes or a no, and I know that people want to do that, and I'm keeping it basic with you, but when we go basic, we can go deep. Wonderful. You don't need the reverse. Absolutely, you don't need the reverse, because if you're using my method, go and have a look at the videos on YouTube. Please subscribe on YouTube so that you are able to go and look at the podcasts. I'll put them there. When we've got you in Facebook or I'm on Twitch, I've no way of actually saying, there's the library, go and find the one you're looking for, because I can't find things, okay? So yeah, you don't need the reversal. So if it was, you were asking, let's go back to your question, will I be able to stay in the UK? And the Hierophant comes out in the reverse. So you've phrased it, will I be able to stay in the UK? So you're looking at the second card telling you what's happening. No. Yeah? So you're moving on. It's that second card that's answering. The people that make the rules are telling you, if you look at the card, your question is, can I stay in the UK? So who makes that decision? The Hierophant do, the people that make the rules. So what is the effect of those people with the rules? The right card is telling you what the effect is. You're walking away. Yeah? If you ask where you're staying, walking away, you're moving on. Or you've got to let go of that. Yeah? But if you ask the question differently, it changes everything. So this is why me and hubby, well, often, you know, he'll say, oh, I need to look at the cards, and I'll say, what do you ask? And he goes, just tell me what they say. And I say, no, because depending on, you know, I can give you all of whatever, but I'm not sitting here doing 44 cards for hours. So I said, when I've been doing this all day, just let's get on with it. Gone are the days of him getting my full attention. All right. Okay, special request for the Star card. Let's see if, let me be a clever clogs and get rid of that. I think that's probably going to be getting good at this. You know, I haven't got them filed as the number of the major arcana card. For obvious reasons, you don't start a file with 0. You can, but I haven't. Okay, so when I made these, it's one above the card. And when I'm watching the screen and everything else, yeah, the end of the day. Bear with me 1 second. I do need to just... Okay. Just looking to see if we are still streaming into Facebook, and yes, it's in my pages. Not that that's important, but people are there. The Star card, okay. Passionate Saji, I'll have a look at the Star card, okay. Do you like this? It's helping with the words rather than me just going through it. I can understand that. I just wanted to bring it down to that kind of almost, we go really deep on Thursday, but we want to get the opposite on Tuesday and really get it. Like I do in astrology, I go, get it? Why? Why are we doing that? Okay, so the Star card. So what word did I choose for that? Here's our keyword, hope. Thank you very much. Sylvie, make sure that you go onto YouTube and you can watch all the actual videos of me teaching. I don't know how to actually put them together on Twitch. And if you subscribe, you are going to be able to watch the podcasts. And yeah, the good news is, I'm Passionate Saji, I know you've got the courses, and I know that lovely lady from South Africa that's bought quite a few things this week. Thank you very much in my courses. Thank you to you. And all of you that's recently bought the courses, too many of you for me to actually mention, but thank you so much. We have big news that we are going to be, the courses you've got, you will be able, when I make an announcement on here, they are all done, apart from the advanced, and rather than me load them onto my website, your old course will start playing as a new course. So guess what? It doesn't just look differently. You've got tons more information and no change of price from before. And those that bought it, it's a bit like getting 10 times more. because the videos are longer, I've gone into more depth, we've got a new look, and I would be so excited for you all to come along. I've taught this for a long time, Sylvie. You know, I was lucky enough to found this method back in 2001 when I first actually started putting my ideas down and thinking that I needed to make a system to teach people, because I was teaching them as in person, and it was like I wanted to actually collate everything. You're very welcome. Okay, so yeah, I started then, and then I kind of founded a psychic telephone premium company for tarot readers, psychics, mediums, clairvoyants. There was 250 of us, and yeah, I was teaching those that, retraining those, or getting people that were customers that wanted to actually read the tarot. So we did that conference call. I've done it in person, I've done it at shows, I've done it at London Olympia, and yeah. Nicola, hi, it's good. They're okay. They're okay. It's been challenging recently with the pets. Thank you so much, Nicola. Lovely to see you, sweetie. Well, I'm okay. Tony's okay, and the pets are okay too. Sorry, I will get on with this one. But yeah, we've been challenged with a couple of them. You can hear them now as they're wanting their walk. So, how do we read the Star card and the Eight of Cups? Again, think of your question, how you phrase that. Are you phrasing it in a way that's actually, remember this is about, I'm not saying look at your card and then ask your question, because you can make it fit. But my point is, if you're saying, I hope that I'm going to be able to get that job in America. Let's say you've asked, I really want that job in America. I really want it, you know, and I want to go there. And so we get the Star card, and it's like your hopes will happen if you let go of the emotional baggage. So it's a bit like anything you want comes from the Star card. You've got to be the one to walk away from your emotional bondage or baggage. That doesn't mean you walk out on your family. It means that you actually find a way with those that you love and care about to go with you, and leave behind the friends. The Star card is our community. The Star card is Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about our community and our friendships. So when I say our community, it's your neighborhood. So it's walking away, you know, and I've used the word hope there because the Star card is about your hopes and wishes coming true. So if you're saying, am I going to be able to go, it's letting go of what's important to you, your community, walking away from your friendships, not because things are awful, but because there's something else for you. And it's moving on. You're moving on through experience. You know, it's all coming together, and you're going for that emotional quest. And that emotional quest is to find your aspirations, as in you will make new friends. And look at the Star card, mixing and blending the emotions. And if you look, she's sitting on the grass, and, you know, there you are, you're welcome, you're welcome. And it's so nice to get feedback. I love feedback because it lets me know whether you want more of this or you want to move on to something else. That's why. Feedback in my company was everything. What do they want more of? What do they want less of? That's what we need to actually know in order to listen and to be able to provide, based on your feedback, what we should do. So I'm always asking, always curious about what you'd like more of or what you'd like less of. recently, I've been doing this for a long time, but I put the words on recently, and you all seem to be finding it quite useful, because not just the pictures, but it's able to actually go, don't let it go, oh, could it be this, could it be this, and what if it's that, and what if it's that? Fine. But go with one thing. Once you've got one thing really good, one key word for that card, you're able to turn around and go, what else is the Star card about? As I was about to tell you, she has one foot in the water, so that's 1 foot in emotions. She's kneeling on land, which is terror, which is security, which is stability, which is being grounded. Stars are around, wishing on a star, think of that. It's about our wishes, okay? But the Star card is attached to Aquarius. And so therefore, it's actually about the fact that our hopes, wishes, it's about being grounded, and it's about going with your emotions while you've got that stability. But I will also tell you something else, and this is a real gem. If ever you are looking at communities, where are the communities these days? Online. So Star card is all about friends, social media. Am I going to do well on YouTube? What do you look at? The Star card. I did well on YouTube, as in with my other company. Can't remember, 2006, 2007. And no, I'm not going to mention it because I don't own it anymore, and it's not fair. Okay, but you can find me if you want to. I don't look the same. I had longer hair and I was 30 plus kilos to what I am now. Thank you very much. Yeah, most of my clients, no, a lot of my clients are American. Thank you very much. I would love to. I'd love to visit America. I've been, but it was too quick and we didn't see enough, and we'll be back. So, yeah. So, the community. So, if you're looking at, am I going to get a community on YouTube? Look at the Star card. If we were asking, well, you might be providing their hopes, wishes, and their emotional quests. Or, am I going to get a community on YouTube? It might be, maybe you need to let that go. You're hoping too much for something that's not happening. Or, nope, walk away. You see, depends how you phrase the question. More importantly, where is it in your spread? And what I teach you is, these two cards, when we go to the next position, tell you whether they have grown from this or gone backwards. That's what you're looking for. Nothing happens in order, but wait till we get to the court cards, which won't be till the end of the year, folks. But when we get to the court cards, how exciting is that? We are going to see whether people are remaining as students, apprentices, or whether they are becoming so big and important in their experience of life that they become kings and queens in the realm of the suit. Intelligent king of swords, queen of swords, serious cookies that are intelligent, lawyers, barristers, CEOs, those kind of things. Will they do that? Or did they start off like that and end up, no, not for me, gonna go off and do something else? You can tell. That is what my actual courses teach you, to see, based on where they are now, what's the likelihood of where they're going to end up with the current background of facts. A bit like forecast for the weather. Yeah? When you are actually predicting this is going to happen, is it or isn't it? That's how we find out. I must go, folks. One more question. Okay. Say it was about a community again. Would the person be walking away? It depends how you're asking it. So if you're saying, Am I walking away from this community? Yep, you're walking away. If you're asking it like that, yeah? Or if you're saying, I want to be an opera singer, it's like, okay, well, go with your hopes, walk away from you are now, and it's all to do with how you phrase the question, isn't it? And go on that emotional quest, because your hopes are not in this community. You've got to go searching for the right community. So really this is about walking away from friendships and communities in order to achieve what you need, perhaps somewhere different, in a different community. So your hopes and wishes are about your growth and going on a journey. And he is on a journey. Look, he's walking. Yeah? So this is a big one, a really big one. And we can keep doing this. So don't forget, folks, do actually make sure that you are subscribed and that you get the notification for when we're on, which is always 5 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But that's UK time and clocks change, etc. So don't leave it to chance. Make sure you're notified. And if you missed the live, you can always watch it in the recorded. I'll see you for, today is Tuesday. Crikey, I've been recording and writing scripts as in for what I want to actually cover with you all like that for a while. So I'll see you on Thursday. And so we'll be moving on to a new card. And then, of course, next Tuesday, we'll have all the joy of being able to go through that card and explore how it works with a Major Arcana. Sylvie, nice to meet you. Please do make sure that you go on to YouTube. Oh, you're so lovely. You're too kind. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you soon. Let's play you out and see you next time. Bye for now.